to this very weird top 5 that you did not expect. Today I'm doing my top 5 fish, or favourite fish. Basically this is in the UK, rivers, lakes, and there's some fish that I wish were on the list but I haven't actually caught. So if you're thinking, why hasn't he put tench on the list, or catfish, bream, well, I've caught a little bream but that don't really count. But yeah, I haven't really caught big enough fish to say that they're good fighters or something. So you'll see on the list what I put. Let's go right away. Number 5, it's chub. Now when I see a big chub down the river, I think, wow, that's great, that's amazing. And usually they're in like groups or little crowds down the rivers, you see, and there's always that big one. And I've got to say, I love going for the chub because they do put up a good little fight. And it's the fact that they like to go for different baits that's quite interesting. Like, they're the fish for bugs and that, or you could even use worms and bread that I've caught on. So the size is quite good for the chub, and I just love going for chub. Also, what's good about them is the really dark black fins. That's something that really stands out in the water. And when you're looking like in the river, you're like, oh look, there's a chub. And like I say, big chub, they just look great in the water. Number 4, it's pike. I fish for so many pike down the river, or even in the odd lake. And they're just so exciting to fish for. When you're using dead bait or something, it's just the thrill of them, these predators coming in and just killing, or just attacking this dead meat. And yes, they do put up a fight, but I would put pike higher up on the list, but to be honest, they're not the best fighters out there. I mean, you can just drag them in. Sure, I'm not going to say they don't fight, because they do when they drill down and go mad, but they're not really the best fighters, to be honest, and that kind of takes the excitement a bit away. But they're still very good fish, and they're more of length rather than weight in belly, I mean. So yeah, catching these predators are very exciting, and when you're sitting there on the swim you're at, it's just, you look down and you're like, a pike could be watching me right now, because they can come right close in. I think something that stands out about pike fishing is the danger in it, the different tackle involved, because you compare this to like carp fishing or something, and that would be nowhere near as the kind of fishing you would do for pike. Number 3, another predator, it's perch. What I love about perch is they just take the bait straight away. They're not like pike where they're a little bit more wiser and they sort of get a bit suspicious, but perch, they just go in for it, and they're less dangerous because their teeth aren't like crocodiles, like snap. They're more in the throat like other fish are. And when perch are about 2 to 4 pound, there's definitely a difference compared to where they're little. They're more amazing where they're bigger. Like pike, jack pike from 2 to 4 or even 5 pound, they're not that much different. But perch, they're just, it's such a big difference. Even just half a pound makes that little difference, or should I say big difference. The good thing about perch is you could just go with worms, maggots, or you can go the complete other direction with dead bait, spinners, lures. So perch are great fish to use different tackle with, and something great about the perch is they're different with the lovely green. When they're small they have silver, but the lovely green blended in, and the stripes that just make this stands out so you know it's a perch. They have spiky dorsal fin, which is quite annoying, but it looks great on them when it's up. Lovely red fins that just stands out, and of course the texture of them, how like sandpaper they are. And that's what I prefer about perch, because they're not slimy like roach or something. Number 2, it's trout. To be honest, I've only caught 1 trout ever in my life so far in the river, and it was a brown trout. But I don't know, this could be a bit biased adding it in, but I think it was a decent enough size to add on the list, so why not? It's a fish I'll always remember. I was pike fishing with sprats and I just saw this black go for the sprat, and I just assumed it was a pike, like a jack pike, because I sort of saw the black and I was just like, jack pike. But the best fight I was thinking for a pike, but then it turns out to be a trout. And that's what stood out, was the fight and the trout, how it just drilled down. And the head, like the mouths of them, just looks so much different from other fish. They just look, I don't know, they just look so weird, but in a good way, and the patterns on them are great. And yeah, the fight, that's what stands out. Just the fight of a trout is amazing. Like I said, I've only caught one trout, so I can't really say a lot about them, but I know that one trout that I've caught, it was just great. It was just a great feeling, and it was definitely a fish to remember. So, trout, that's why it's number 2. Number 1, what you've been waiting for. I think quite a lot of people may have expected this, maybe. It's carp. Carp are just great. They're like, in my eyes, they're the friendly fish of the rivers, lakes, whatever. What I love about carp, they're just so fun to play with, to be honest, and they're very common to catch. There's different types of carp, which is good. Loads of people do different ways of getting them. Like, you could be night fishing, ledgering, or just simply what I do in the day, just use crust bread on top, float, catch them like that. Stands out about the carp is you can get a small carp, like let's just say £1 to £2, and that could put up a great fight, just like £6 or £7 for example. So the carp fight is definitely something that stands out with them. They're just so great, and just holding a carp, they're just so nice. And yeah, they can go a little bit mental sometimes, but they're not vicious, of course, like pike, you'd have to watch out. So carp are very safe fish, apart from when they take you in the weed when you've hooked onto one. Different carp, and the texture is just beautiful. They're simply just great fish to go for, and it's just, if you go carp fishing for a day, you'll definitely enjoy yourself if you're catching. They're just honestly impressive fish, and when they get bigger in the belly, they just look so good. So that's my top 5 favourite fish. A little bit different this top 5, but really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more fishing stuff from me, go over to Cyber Fishing, because there'll be loads of stuff there. Thank you very much for watching. Please give this video a like. Check out the channels in the description below. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And if you've been subscribing, thank you very much. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.